over to you, Jim, for our last panellist, the Queen of Speechcraft. Thank you, Jim.
Good afternoon, Maria. Would it be possible, Maria, to tell us a bit about yourself firstly and what clubs you come from?
Okay. I belong to 3 clubs. I started off with Stafford Heights being my home club. I joined Chermside Communicators because the time suited me beautifully and there were some lovely people that I knew there as well. And then I decided also to be a part of the Brackenridge Club. So that's my history at the moment. I'm here to talk about the Stafford Heights Speechcraft Club. We've been running this Speechcraft for over 30 years. And I do believe one of our secrets in being able to do that is because we do have a very strong core of members who run it. We have 2 coordinators, so one can fill in for the other if there's sick leave, family leave, going away on holidays. I think that is point number 1. We have at least 6 members from the club who are happy to step in and do an educational, be a timer, do evaluations, and just generally help out. We run the sessions 4 times per year to coincide with the school terms. They are 6 weeks long. They run from 7 till 9 p.m. and they are on a Monday night, and we charge $100. We have a very efficient secretary who looks after all the bookings for us on Eventbrite. We do seem to get members from our Speechcraft. We will get at least 1. I just had a look at the number of the members we have, and quite a significant number have come from Speechcraft to the club, and what's more, they have stayed. That's it in a nutshell, our Speechcraft. We go through, of course, the basics of what we do in Toastmasters. We try to provide as much time as possible, either before a meeting or after meeting, to answer questions individually. We make sure that they are greeted at the door. We make sure they are looked after. We like to think we are a very friendly club. I think it shows that we work well with each other and that we know each other very well. And I think participants can sense that camaraderie and that friendship and that working together. We certainly do have that down pat. That's about all I can say about Speechcraft in a nutshell. It can work. Why it doesn't work sometimes, I don't know why either. The other thing I might mention is we've had an extreme variety of people who have turned up. We've had doctors, dentists, chemists, project officers, admin officers, accountants. We've had people walk in through the door saying, I want to be able to do a speech at my daughter's wedding. We've had such a variety of people. It's obvious they are coming from all walks of life. Are there any questions? I still enjoy being a part of it, and I feel I'm learning so much by being a part of it.
Yes, we have a few questions. Firstly,
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, firstly, how do you market your Speechcraft courses, and how many participants do you aim for each course?
We have an efficient secretary. We advertise through Eventbrite. That's to answer question number 1. We limit the number of participants because we find that up to 12 is the maximum. How we're going to fit in all these people doing their icebreaker speeches and doing evaluations properly. 12 is usually enough. It also allows for the occasional 1 or 2 who drop off.
Maria, do people just find you and ask for Speechcraft courses, or do you have to go out and find the people to sign up?
No, it's the advertising's done on the district website, I think. I'm not too good at that sort of thing. Although someone obviously found me to do this other Speechcraft course. a Tuesday night.
Jim, Stafford Heights actually has quite a long waiting list because they've been running them successfully in the past.
We have.
Word of mouth is actually how Stafford Heights does most of their promotion.
Yes, we do that as well.
You also said you had a core group of people. How essential is to have a core group of people running the course, and also
Absolutely.
how essential is it to have multiple coordinators to help out and multiple presenters?
Well, I can just give an example in the last couple of years, events that have happened in these people's lives. I mean, we're not the younger group, we're the older group, and we've had one person have to take time off because her parents were in need. The other person had planned some holidays. So it is essential that we have two people. Then the other day we had to have a third person step up, and we just stepped up and did a wonderful job of it. We do fill in a lot for each other. For example, I can fill in for most of the educationals and run them. I've done timing, I do a lot of evaluations there, but we're all able to fit in with each other and step up. And if someone is sick, that can happen too. We've got at least half a dozen from the club.
Maria, a lot of clubs see Club Speechcraft as a way to gain new members, which is good, but your club, not every member goes on to join Stafford Heights. Some go to join other clubs. That's something new that clubs wouldn't think of. Why does this happen, and how beneficial is it?
Well, if someone joins another club other than our club, it could be geography. You're going to obviously join a club that suits you, the time of the week, the day, the time, the day. For example, if you have lessons on one night and Stafford Heights, our meeting is on a Tuesday night, if you can't make it, well, you can't make it because you've got other commitments. So that we do willingly tell people about, there are other clubs in the area. Of course, we encourage them to join us, but we also explain that you have to find a club that suits you and your lifestyle and the timing. So we're not forcing them to join us.
Maria, one question that I've had come to me through many people is, there are some clubs who want to put Speechcraft courses on, but they're just not finding the participants aren't coming. They've got a lack of participants to join their Speechcraft course. How do you work on that to actually bring the people in?
I think I'd have to talk to Ian, who's been our very long-term coordinator, and Anne. I can't answer you that, I'm sorry. I just know that when we advertise, people come. Now, whether it's Monday night's a good night of the week, whether it's because we are there in central north side Brisbane, we get them from everywhere. I can't give you any definitive answer. We've had them come from all over Brisbane, actually. Again, it could be word of mouth. I cannot answer you that, I'm sorry.
Denise, do you have any other questions for Maria?
How much do you charge, Maria?
$100 per person.
And that's very affordable?
Oh yes, we've never had any complaints about that.
And how often do you have the courses?
4 times a year, and they are 6 weeks. The reason why it was fitting in with the school term is that we used to originally meet at the Stafford Heights Primary School. So we were fitting in with the school term, and the school was doing some of the advertising for us. And it got to a stage that we realised adult people sitting on little student chairs wasn't always very comfortable. We decided to branch out, and we approached the Prince Charles Hospital, the training room where we have our own meetings, and we've been able to use that room. It's so much better because it's so much bigger. And we decided, well, we have to do our own advertising, and that's why we go to Eventbrite, Eventbrite.
And
But if anyone wants any information, I can find out from Ian and Anne, who are our two main coordinators.
so do you call yourself Toastmasters, or do you just say public speaking, or do you call it Speechcraft? What do you actually...
I think, we call it Speechcraft. It's the art of public speaking. And Ian gives a very good explanation at the beginning, what we're going to do, why we're going to do it. We provide a written agenda every week, and it's just all systems go. He's very well organised, Ian, and so is Anne, and so is Ray, who had to recently take over.
Thank you, Maria. Hang on there. I just wanted to welcome Robert, who can do an insert there, who is now creating an initiative for the district to actually train facilitators to do a Speechcraft course, because it's actually run by clubs, not areas, not districts, not divisions. Jim and I can't organise one on the internet. It has to be done by clubs. So it is a very, very good way to get members. So as Club Growth Director, Robert, what initiative are you providing for us, and what needs to happen?
Okay, first of all, just to reiterate what Maria said, Speechcraft courses are an amazing asset to your clubs. They not only provide you with a potential pipeline of new members, they also raise badly needed funds. And if you're paying for a venue hire, that money can be used towards your venue hire, which is one less thing that your members have to put their hands in their pockets for. And to give you an idea, most Speechcraft courses will net $300 to $500 if you're charging $99 per participant. So it's quite possible to raise a reasonable amount of money to offset your club expenses. But for me, one of the really important things is that so often in our club meetings, and maybe this is just my experience, but you go along and it's 3 speeches, table topics, 3 evaluations, and maybe a warm up and a word master, and then you all go home. And that's basically it. We're often not seeing a lot of educationals on the club program, and running a Speechcraft course and getting your newer members to come along just to be like sergeant-at-arms and timers exposes them to half a dozen, 8 educationals over a very short period of time, where they can gain some of those basic skills that we seem to struggle to get the time to get into our club programs. So district thinks that both from a fundraising, from a membership building, and from an educational point of view, there are wins for Speechcraft all the way around. So as part of what we're doing this year is we're going to have a Speechcraft facilitators course, which we will be sending out a call through your area, through your division directors for nominations from each division. We're going to ask participants as to whether they'd prefer to do that online or face-to-face. And based on people's availability and preferences, we'll structure it in such a way that it meets the needs of the audience, and we will be bringing together our most experienced Speechcrafters in the district, and we're lucky that we have 2 of them in the room now, not only Maria, that's been so heavily involved in Stafford Heights, but also our district Speechcraft coordinator who's lurking there in the corner. Hello, Liz. So we will be inviting both of them to come along and share some of their experience and knowledge in relation
There she is.
Sorry,
I've
got poor internet connection. That's why I've got my video off today. Sorry. Anyway, hello. Bye.
So we'll be looking at doing that in November. The other aspect of the Speechcraft course that we're going to be doing is we know for some clubs actually purchasing the kits and getting everything together can be a barrier. So what we're going to be doing is sponsoring some of the Speechcraft courses by giving clubs an opportunity to say, we'd like some help, and we will provide advice, assistance, and also the materials to run a Speechcraft course if your club's not run one before. So that's what's happening in the Speechcraft project space, Denise.
Thank you, Robert. So at the moment, we're using old stock, and that stock led into the communication legacy program.
That's correct.
And after doing the Speechcraft course, you may have got 1 or 2 speeches already ticked off on your competent communicator.
I'd also really encourage people that are presenting educationals in Speechcraft to identify projects in pathways that they can assign that activity to. Also, running a Speechcraft course is an excellent high-performance leadership project, or if you're looking for some of the projects in Toastmasters, in some of the more advanced projects in pathways, such as team building, emotional intelligence. There's a whole lot of projects you can get through with Speechcraft.
Robert, I believe that running a Speechcraft course is now baked into the DTM requirements of pathways.
It is. It always was a DTM requirement to run one of the Success Communication series of programs, and it still is today, both under Pathways and the old Advanced Leader Silver.
So that's an excellent initiative that each of us can take home from this workshop. Is your club interested in running a Speechcraft course? If you don't have the resources, go to your division director and they will know where to direct you to. So it's a wonderful bonding for your club as well, banding together, and it's a great way that you can form a stronger club, as well as reinforce those educational basics that may not be as pronounced in Pathways as it was in the communication legacy programs. So that's a really good initiative, and thank you for bringing that to our reach, Robert, because not only we knew about it, but now you're making it easier for us.
I see we have a couple of questions in chat. One was, is there a specific format for Speechcraft? And the answer for that is no. The expectations are that at the end of the Speechcraft course, the participants will have had an opportunity to both deliver and evaluate speeches and have had exposure to educationals, but there are clubs that do Speechcraft over a single day, over a weekend, over 6 weeks, over 8 weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Pam also made the observation that she found that running Speechcraft courses for specific groups works well. And certainly there are several Toastmasters, and I think Stafford Heights started this way back in the early piece, where a Toastmaster was also a member of the school P&C and offered to run it for the incoming school P&C, and it just grew and continued.
It did grow. It did grow. It's, as I said, it's got a long history, and I just don't recall the deep, dark history.
I do also remember a club that was running an information stall in a shopping centre, and somebody showed up and asked about Toastmasters. It turned out that they ran a small business and they ended up putting all 12 of their employees through a Speechcraft.
Wow.
They provided the venue, all we had to provide was the presenters and the materials. And the district will provide the materials, so it's just a matter of having the members that have the time, the commitment, and the knowledge and enthusiasm to share.
Yeah, you certainly do need the enthusiasm, not just the knowledge.
So Maria's also made preliminary inquiries on how we could do a Speechcraft course for professionals. Brisbane has a number of corporate clubs. There are a few more hurdles to jump. How are we going with that, Maria?
Well, we haven't got very far at the moment. We're still all online. The interest is there, but we really haven't made any further progress at the moment.
Could you explain to us why you think that it would work, particularly with these young leaders, and they're quite intelligent guys, but they just haven't got the
They haven't the polish. I was listening at one particular club earlier this week, and there were 2 icebreaker speeches. Their content was brilliant. It was very good. What was lacking was simply the basics that we learn as Toastmasters. One of them really needed to learn the art of pausing. The other one just needed to boost his confidence a bit more. And it was just so obvious. I just wanted to pick them both up and put them aside, because they're extremely intelligent, clever people, some of them. And their knowledge and their content, it would work beautifully. I do have a couple of clubs saying they are interested and they want it to happen. I think what is happening at the moment is we're still online, and we're still going to continue this way with some of these clubs in the city. So we're just not sure. I think it's more the venue. If we could sort out the venue, I think we'd be home and hosed. But then look what happened the other day, Denise. I answer your email, and all of a sudden, here I am at the QUT with this Pacific Women's Group, and we've already started. I mean, how quick is that?
Which is fantastic. Now,
I answered the call, and there's someone else helping me, and it's just working beautifully.
thank you, Maria. I think it's a very common thread through all of our 6 panelists was that word of mouth. Bringing along a family or a friend or an acquaintance is by far the best introduction to your club. We can bring members to, we can bring guests to our club, but it's up to the club to produce a product worthy of our benefit of bringing someone. You wouldn't bring someone to something if you weren't proud of it. How many of us would bring our family to our club? How many would bring a friend to your club? Or would you go, oh no, I don't think I would? Well, why wouldn't you? So that's where we've got to start as well, to know that we've got a product that's worthy. You would bring your family and friends along. So the introduction of social media, the meetups, the Instagrams, LinkedIn, Facebook, they are all avenues that are at our discretion, but they aren't the answer. They're just the new look flyer. They're just the new look pamphlet that you'll see in your letterbox. Someone really has to make that happen. And that's every member in every club to boost your numbers, because the time to get new numbers is when you're really flying high. You're energetic. You've got something really fun going on. But when you're down to 10, you've got a tired executive, everyone's feeling very weary, you're not showing yourselves off at your best. The time to do membership building is all the time. I'd like to thank, on behalf of Jim and I, our panelists, Jeanette, Judith, Maria, Corinna, and who have I missed out on? Ken, he's disappeared, for your time, but also for the members who have obviously taking their jobs very seriously to build their clubs and to take your time out to attend our workshop. It is recorded, so we will be able to view it again. And also to thank our energetic Club Growth Director, Robert Green, who is in the business of building membership and building clubs. And Toastmasters is the best kept secret. It's just there for everybody. The leadership, the knowledge, the skills, the fellowship, the networking that can be produced from a Toastmasters club for as little as $70 for 6 months. It's as cheap as chips. But we have to make sure that the value that we give our members is really worth it. And that's not just our weekly Toastmasters meetings. It's all the trainings and the networking that goes along with it. And I think that's a big part of our Toastmasters success. Can I hand over to you, to Jim, to finish our workshop for today?
Okay, thank you, Denise. And I would finally like to thank everybody who attended today. It's people like you that push our clubs to grow. And as Robert Green would know, our first part of our district mission is we grow new clubs, but also with growing new clubs, it's growing our membership as well, and as well as retention. And all the skills we have built today will help us to grow our members and eventually grow new clubs as well. And with that, I would like to thank everybody for attending. Have a nice rest of your weekend, and good luck in your club growth and club building work over the next 12 months.
Bye, everybody.